Hi, my name's David and I'm an Alchemy user. In this video, I'm going to follow on to one of the other videos that I did on referenced suites and reusable functions or shared functions. I'm going to take that one step further and create another shared function that we can pass an argument to. In this case, I'm using the same test that we used in that video, where I've got these two steps up here in the initial part of my script that I want to use as the navigate or the initial shared function, but I want to be able to pass in the URL. So you'll notice that in every suite there is by default an environment variable set that is the URL that you put in the initial suite creation screen, and you can modify the values of that so that in other words, you can have one URL for your dev environment, one URL for your test environment, etc. You can also create other variables other than URL, things like width, height, if you want to control the size of the window that you're testing in and that sort of thing, or any other kind of static data that you can come up with. So in this case, what I want to do is pass in the URL instead of having it hard-coded, because the other suite that's referencing this function may not be concerned with the bike shop, or it may be running in a different environment, etc. So the first thing I'm going to do is start by just selecting the two steps again and converting them to a function, and this time we're going to call it shared init, and we'll create that function. And then just like last time, over here we can see the steps of the function. Now the step further that we're going to go is we're going to go and look at the information about this function. That's where we can add in arguments for the signature of the call of that function. So what I'm going to do is add an argument, and I'm going to call it funcURL, and it is going to be a string. These can be of other types as well: numbers, decimals, booleans, locators, etc. In our case, it's just going to be a simple string, and then I'm going to save my script. Now what that save did is, over here in my test, now you'll see that the call to that function has an argument that has funcURL kind of in the background in it. Now in the function itself, I've still got this hard-coded data, so I want to take care of that. How do I do that? Well, I go down here to the test context variables, and you'll see funcURL right there. So that's the input argument, and we just want to navigate to whatever the user puts in the input argument for that function call. And then we're going to save that. So in the test, when the function is actually called, give it some URL. So here's where you would either hard code in your URL or use your environment variable from your suite that's calling this. Alright, so now we've structured that function in this suite. Let's close this suite out. Remember, that is our referenced suite, and the whole purpose was to use that function, pass it an argument from another suite. So the way we're going to do that is, again, like in the other previous video, go to the referenced suites tab, import an existing suite, and that one was called My Bike Shop. Click on the plus, and aren't concerned with those tests necessarily. We just want the functions, the sites associated with that referenced suite. Then I'm going to click save. So then over here on my canvas, I'm going to create a new test 23, And here, instead of just dragging things or just recording objects, I'm just going to drag function calls into my script, and I'll just go ahead and drag 3 of them. And then I'll go over here to functions, and I'll just grab the shared init, stick it right in there. Notice there's my argument. I'll grab the shared login, I'll grab the shared logout, and then for the URL, I'll just use the environment variable from this suite. So it will pass that URL into that function call. And that's it. We've created a function that is shared. It lives in another referenced suite. We can't actually modify that function in here. If we try to look at it in here, notice it's read-only. We can't do anything with that function in this suite where we're using it. And that's it. This has been another Alchemy Informative, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much.